Hi, Cancer Rising Sign. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 21st of April until the 27th of April. I think it's an internal reboot actually for you, Cancer. You are moving from a 7 year period of cycle of questioning a lot of things in your life into more of a psychological exploration as well as rediscovering yourself, working behind the scenes so that you can figure out who you are. Now, for the last 7 years, Uranus has been sitting in your 11th house, the house of friends, networks, long-term goals, likely bringing certain changes to your tribe or how you see the future. Maybe you ran into certain type of obstacles when it comes to your long-term goals. But now that Uranus is moving into your 12th house, the house of subconscious, spirituality, inner rest, so you're moving from a social revolution to more of a subconscious revolution. This week is about taking the freedom you have fought for in your external life and finally using it to heal your inner world. If you have felt stuck, maybe actually it is going to be giving you a bit of an upgrade and you are able to kind of leave certain chapters behind the scene or behind your back. Now, Amor goes into your 10th house, Eros enters your second house, and Bacchus enters your 12th house as well. So you will feel a high intensity focus on your public image. Even Amor adds to it. Obviously, all those planetary energies in Aries is all about your public image. Now, the resource is getting into the focus as well because Eros enters the house of money. So maybe you get a bit of a self-worth boost. You get very passionate about something, and your 12th house is buzzing with a desire for kind of like spiritual highs. So you might be spending a lot of time in the background learning, studying spiritual concepts, preparing something spiritual also. But I think Amor will want you to stop there and do a bit of a professional audit. Review how you present yourself to the world. It's a good 11-month review of what you want to be known for and what you truly like and what you are truly passionate about. You can really use that Eros in Leo to find a passion in monetizing your finances in a very creative way. And if your self-worth is right, it feels like your finances are going to become right as well. It is actually inviting you to treat yourself in a royal way. And you can really use Bacchus in the 12th house to enjoy a bit of a solitude. Like you are going to be listening to music, meditating in a new way, find joy in quiet parts of your day as well. It's sometimes the doing the nothing type of enjoyment. Eros in the second house can make you spend money to feel important. So watch out, don't buy the luxury items just because you are having a bad day. I think don't rush into a public role. Armor stationing or going into your 10th house means a sudden career change, a big announcement. Might be it's just an Aries impulse, and maybe it needs to be a little bit of a vetting. And Bacchus in the 12th house can make you use social media or certain type of mindless content just to check out of your feelings. So maybe you want to put the phone a little bit away. We can enjoy solitude without scrolling on screen as well. Venus is making the very last conjunction to Uranus on 29 degree of Taurus. And this is a last call in the house of groups and hopes. So you might have a sudden realization about a friend, a project you are part of, or a future goal that has been stuck. And this is a lightning strike of clarity, and it hits your social life. So you might be kind of like breaking up with a friend of yours. But if a group or a long-term goal has been stagnant or draining your spirit, it might invite you to leave it. Imagine the 29th degree as a permission slip. Also, reach out to someone totally unexpected who can help you with your dreams. Also, maybe it's inviting you to spend money on something that supports your future, like a membership to a club, a new tool for a project, or even certain type of networking dinner with friends, and then we do a lot of brainstorming. But it does say not to cling to your tribes. Um, if you feel like a social circle is shifting, let it shift. Don't sign long-term group pledges. It's too erratic for it. Wait until the next week. And if there is a bit of a disagreement or unexpected news comes from a friend, you might just need to listen or you don't need to panic. The truth is coming out via Uranus about that person. The sun is also in the sign of Taurus, squaring Pluto in your eighth house. And that's a clash between your long-term hopes or friends to a shared resources and intimacy department. You might feel like your dream is being threatened by a debt, a shared financial issue, a power struggle with someone close to you. This aspect, Pluto is trying to transform how you handle other people's money. So you can use this square to cut out dead weight in your joint ventures. If a group is pressuring you financially and emotionally, you have to be standing your own ground. And if a relationship feels heavy, address the power dynamics directly rather than just sweeping it under the carpet. I think it's also an invitation not to let the group ideas, for example, control you. So don't let your friends bully you into, let's say, a financial decision you aren't comfortable with. You're going to have to draw the line. And don't try to use your connections to get leverage in an eighth house situation, like a loan and an argument, because it might backfire. And don't fear the loss. This is a bit of an invitation of having to invest into yourself in order for you to gain. Yes, maybe a group call is costing you too much emotionally or even materialistically speaking, then just let it die. It means that you are making space for something new or better. Now, of course, Uranus shifting into the sign of Gemini actually happens at the same time where Pallas Athene enters Aries as well, and Psyche enters Cancer. I did make a very in-depth video about Uranus in Gemini through the houses. So you might want to be revisiting that. Here, I'm just going to give you a very short, brief description. But that might be about you having to be uh, open to certain type of weird dreams, sudden insights, or you might be seeing a lot of strange synchronicities. Uranus in the 12th house loves digital detoxes, meditation, psychological breakthroughs. Pallas Athene is strategizing your career and your public reputation. It does it with a warrior logic. So it's about thinking ahead, being decisive, mapping out your next career step and move or business moves as well. But Psyche in your first house wants you to be feeling safe. It wants you to treat yourself with the same care you give others as well, because it will make you unstoppable. Things from your past or your subconscious might come up though. Don't fight them. Let them come. Observe them. Name them, Gemini. Also, Pallas can be a bit clinical, so don't treat your professional peers like a math equation. It's a bit of being called in the public, so watch out for that too. And Psyche in your first house says you need to be vulnerable, own it. Your sensitivity is one of your strengths, and how you can use that for your own advantage. The sun in your 11th house actually makes beautiful sextile to North Node and the trine to the South Node, so which is your third and ninth house. And And Sun with Taurus is just wants simple things in life. Just wants food, money. It wants to build something that is going to last. It wants to make money enough to survive and enough for some comfortable things. And it looks like you get the opportunity, maybe through certain type of teaching or travel opportunities as well. This is an alignment. So you are aligning with your higher calling. You see how your long-term hopes and friendships support your daily communication and your higher philosophy. This is a clear-headed day where your networking efforts finally start to make sense. Maybe if you have got a YouTube channel, maybe you're gonna start seeing certain type of growth. You're gonna get first comments on it, and you feel kind of like positive about it. This is a bit of a visionary networker. So we can use the 11th house platform to teach, to write, to speak about your long-term dreams. And you might even find that people are kind of like listening to you. This is about simplifying the bigger picture into something concrete. So we need the plan for it. Sun in Taurus wants things to be useful and tangible. So the ideas that we have has to be as tangible as possible. And maybe you can even engage in very simple conversations with someone you trust about a belief that kind of like matters to you. You should be paying attention to not getting lost in intellectual perfection. So imagine that I'm recording a video 3, 4 times because I had a bit of a blip there. And you can get obsessive about the wording of your ideas or being critical of how I speak and how others are seeing and hearing me. And it can become very frustrating. Trust the Pisces North Node and focus on the spirit of the message, not just kind of like the grammar. Don't overanalyze your future either. You might be looking at your natal chart and thinking about what's next. Take the simplest path today. The sun in Taurus is about being present, in your social circle. So it might be about just sitting down with your friends and having a conversation. What do you think the next step should be? We don't always have to over spiritualize things. And don't forget to unplug. You have got a heavy week in a way, a heavy internal shift, really. So sometimes you're going to have to break away from data and thoughts, third house. And then you're just going to have to go with the flow and then let the day just unfold itself. So I hope you find this weekly forecast useful I'm trying to give practical scenarios as well so that you can really use it for your own benefits. But obviously, a heavy 10th house is about trying to make something happen in your life, trying something new. You are trying to get your freedom back in a way. Potentially, you are getting tired of being part of a corporate world, for example, and then being their slave. And it's high time for you to become kind of like self motivated or independent or entrepreneur and all those type of stuff. Yes, this week actually can be super important or exciting about making professional connections with others as well, which can eventually improve your finances. It looks like you can be starting to attract the right people into your life. Yes, watch out. We have got Mercury and Jupiter square this week as well. So there could be a lot of over-promising. They might be promising the stars for you, and unfortunately, 80% of them are not going to get delivered. So, but also watch out because you can overextend yourself as well at work, which can have a negative impact on your physical body. I think this weekend it's all about having a closing chapter in your life. Maybe a closing conversation with a friend of yours, catching up with a friend you haven't seen for ages, or it might be a family member. And yeah, so good luck, Cancer, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.